Again from IBTM 2023 here in Barcelona, and it's Ljubljana Talks again, and we actually have a surprise guest, Tomaž Krušič from Intours DMC from the Adriatic region, Ljubljana, Slovenia, Croatia. Basically, you covered it all. Tomaž, thank you for taking your time.
It was my pleasure.
And we're going to talk a little bit about IBTM, about the incentives market. What's it been for you like this year that was the first full year without any limitations regarding COVID?
Actually, it was good, of course. So we are back on track. Perhaps not 100% as it was before COVID, but we are on a good way. What we have seen is that we are getting groups and requests from not only from traditional markets, but also from the markets which were not on, let's say, our main list, where we don't have representatives, which means that Slovenia is more and more present. And actually, obviously, this is the result of years of marketing strategies, investments, and we just hope that this will continue.
So you operate basically in the entire region. You just said Slovenia is coming up. You have a very big office in Croatia, Montenegro. Where do you see, let's say, what would be your favorite places or favorite products of this year that you say are something special?
My personal favorite places are, speaking about business, about groups coming to the region, of course, everything more or less depends on flights. This is the reality. That's why, for example, groups with highest budgets, big numbers and so on, they mainly choose Dubrovnik or Split because of the flights. Of course, there is also other infrastructure available, big hotels, hotel brands and so on. But speaking about the experience, I think that from the feedbacks which we are receiving, guests are really amazed with Slovenia, because still many of people don't know what to expect, and once they come to Slovenia, they are really, really surprised. The diversity, quality of food, wines, weather, countryside, cities, everything functions, and this is something that is really a big surprise for everybody who comes for the first time.
So Tomaž, if I ask you, or you pitched for last 3 days, all these 3 countries, but if I ask you why Ljubljana or why Slovenia, what would you say actually in a really short explanation?
This is a question that is hardly to be answered, because when we speak with potential clients, with agents, we come to the conclusion that if you say Slovenia, generally people don't have a clear picture. Mm-hmm. Because if you say Croatia, people have picture. If you say whatever, Germany, people have picture. If you say France, people know what to expect. If you say Slovenia, people actually don't know. What is this? Is this Mediterranean country? Is it an Alpine country? What it is? So, under my opinion, if I would like to describe Slovenia in one word, is the huge diversity. This is something that makes Slovenia definitely unique in Europe. Short distances and the diversity.
Tomaž, you created some great events this year, remarkable events in Ljubljana. But I just learned from one of the podcasts something about Giorgio Armani. He said, one Slovenian designer of yachts said that if you want to create something which is really good, it must be a little bit more than nothing. Malo više od ništa, he said actually. So is it true also for events? How to create memorable event, which is really like Giorgio Armani event, I would say, or you know?
First of all, you have to be creative. Yeah. If you are not creative, then you can forget about good events. Being creative means also that you can do a really interesting activity also with low budget. So. Yeah. We are developing the B story. Okay, actually you started with this couple of years ago. And if you would describe to them, let's say, we are going to visit a beehive or whatever, at the beginning, it doesn't really look sexy. But once the activity is done, guests are absolutely amazed. Absolutely amazed. And this is something what makes Slovenia special. For example, this is an activity which doesn't cost much, but it's a genuine experience, and it is, let's say, also unique for Slovenia. So everything goes into the right direction, green, sustainable, and so on. And this is something, for example, not much money, creativity, and good content. On the other side, we had a really nice big event where the client was a little bit conservative, and before they have organized farewell dinners and so on, gala events on a very traditional way, round tables, a DJ, nothing special. But this year we managed to convince them that with some more input they could really create something totally out of the box, especially for them. And they have said yes. And again, we created something that still everybody is speaking about. And this is something that you get with experiences. It's not something that you can do if you're for the first year in the business, but after a while you can feel if the client is going to follow you, listen to you, or it's going to be the opposite.
Well, you've been in the business for a while, right? So the DMC actually is one of those suppliers to event organizers which can really deliver a lot of creativity, originality. And I think if anywhere somebody wants to organize an event, they should be talking to a DMC. I'm a firm believer that if you want to create that special experience to the delegates, a DMC should be included. What would you say, how do you see the perception of DMCs in time where there's so much information online, when there's so much information that people can find directly? Do you see that the DMC's role is still there, or do you see that some people are trying to do it on their own?
Of course, they try, many agents, clients try to do things on their own, but not because I'm a DMC, but really being completely open. I think that a good DMC is an absolute added value. It also, DMC can help also with budgets, because if the DMC has good connections with suppliers, and the DMC should have good connections to suppliers, so we can help with the budget. So we are definitely more creative. We know the region, we know all the potential problems, we know for locations that are hidden, that cannot be found on internet. So definitely yes, DMC, yes.
I need to ask you, in addition to this, Tomaž, about artificial intelligence, because we're asking this to everybody we talked with. Is it possible that AI will replace what we are doing actually?
No.
So
No way.
Okay.
Just in writing text, perhaps.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't think
So you still believe in live events?
Yes.
Absolutely. We are coming here to Barcelona from the beginning. At least we both of us. So why is this place so important in your calendar, I would say, every year?
It's a place where you have to be, simply. Yeah. Even if your diary doesn't look really promising, you just meet people here. So you have to be here.
Yeah. Do you think that in the future these formats will change a little bit, or it will stay the same?
More or less, it will stay the same. You still need a booth. You still need a place where you meet people. Perhaps there are going to be slight changes, but actually, yeah. How many years we are attending this?
I don't know, 50.
Yeah, but it's still more or less the same. And I guess this will, more or less, it will remain the same.
So it works.
Actually, it works, because I don't see any other option that could replace an event like the IBTM.
Well, we found out yesterday IBTM is here to stay as well, so we'll be coming to Barcelona for a while. I have one more question. In the way of, because you really feel the pulse of the destination. You are talking to all of the suppliers, all this. What would you say is the trend, or perhaps the thinking of where the incentive industry is going? Do you see like a development, a change?
Yeah, of course. We are all speaking about green events, sustainable events. This is trend, and we all have to focus in this direction. But on the other hand, good activity, good meal, wine, fun. This is what makes incentives interesting, and I think that this will still remain the main focus. Incentive trip is a reward for the participants, and they should enjoy. Okay, of course, there should be some education included in a way, but still, fun, good food, beautiful locations. This is what makes
incentives are alive and kicking and growing.
Tomaž, one more personal question for you. Where do you find your own inspiration? I know that you love music and many other things, but what is your biggest inspiration, I would say?
Actually, it's the biggest inspiration would be really, it sounds perhaps a bit old-fashioned, really making people happy when coming to the destination. And you are really happy two times in the process of let's say event planning. First moment is when you get an event confirmed, and the second one is when they are leaving and when they are happy.
And you are still happy when you receive confirmation still after all these years?
Of course. This is what
that's important.
This is what is driving us.
That's the spark, actually, in the eyes. Yeah. So we usually finish with short fire questions, and we will of course do that also with you. So the one is beer or wine?
Wine.
Okay, can you explain this?
Wine is much more complex than beer, and healthier as well.
Red wine or white wine? Or something else?
Quite a lot also orange. Because it's not because it's trend, but it's the natural way how to produce wines. But anyhow, of course, summertime white, winter period red.
Top. And one provocative, since you are covering the whole region, Slovenia or Croatia? This one is difficult, I know, but
it's really hard. It's really hard to say. If we are honest, of course, Croatia is much larger than Slovenia, so it offers different opportunities. But on the other side, distances are longer, so you cannot really switch from one region to another in half an hour. It takes time. But really hard to say. Both are great. But Slovenia is a jewel, and Slovenia, as mentioned before, the biggest advantage is the huge diversity and short distances.
Mountains or the sea?
Mountains close to the sea.
Tomaž, thank you very much for taking your time and doing Ljubljana Talks in Barcelona. Perfect.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Gorazd.
Great. Thank you. And thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.